everyone. So we are at last in finals week, and I'm bringing back an image from our syllabus, little baby Yoda here, in case you forgot about him, is asking you not to panic. And I would reiterate the same message that you've come this far, you've done good work, you've got this, and this video is just a short one to go over a few last minute items of business, mostly to talk about the final reflection, which is our final exam, though it's not an exam. But before I get into those things, I wanted to take a couple of minutes just to talk to you. So I thought it might be nice to show my face since I've been just a disembodied voice for the past month, and that this would be a little bit more personal of a way to say thank you and goodbye for the semester, because I just really want to express how much I appreciate the hard work you've put in all semester, but especially since we've made the shift online, because I know that alone has been a challenge, probably to learn in a different way than you signed up for or expected, that may or may not fit your learning style. And then on top of that, we all are in this, unexpected, unpredictable state of living in just a very different way that can be stressful, that can even be scary right now. And the fact that you are still working on your courses, you are still writing, you are still signing in and watching this video, hopefully, that is impressive, and you should be proud of the work you've done. And I think I've said this before, but it's possible that your best right now might not look like your best under normal circumstances. That's okay, right? Because what you're doing is great. I have seen wonderful work from you guys this semester. I've been excited to see you grow as writers, to see you conduct your own individual research, and I'm really looking forward to your analysis papers as you take your own direction, and let me know what you see when you choose to analyze whatever you have chosen to write about. But yeah, I have been very impressed with your resilience, with your perseverance in this, challenging state of affairs that we're in. And, I miss you guys. I miss having our in-person class discussions and seeing you guys work in groups and the ideas that you come up with together. But I've also appreciated seeing you talk on the discussion boards and, contribute to each other's work in that way. And I hope that you've enjoyed reading, things that your classmates have posted, and that, this has still been an experience that, even if different, that you've learned from, and that the material we've had in the course, the assignments that you've been working on, have given you a chance to grow as a thinker, as a writer, and to really, if the takeaway for this course, many of you aren't going into careers in which you'll be writing papers, perhaps, but critical thinking, communication skills, curiosity and reflection, analysis, those are all, I think, skill sets that are applicable to many different things in life, including future courses, future careers, and just being a person who's constantly digesting information and new situations, and the ability to focus your gaze on any particular topic or experience and break it down and analyze it and really process your thoughts and communicate them effectively. I hope that is transferable in some way. But again, I've really enjoyed reading your work this semester, seeing your writing evolve and grow. I'm looking forward to reading your final papers, and I am proud of all the work you've done, and I think that you should feel proud of yourself too. And after finals week is over, I hope you get a chance to relax, and I encourage you this week, get some fresh air. If there's some place you can take a walk somewhere where you're not running into a bunch of other people, fit in some snacks, make sure you're drinking lots of water, all those good things to take care of yourself, because finals week can be stressful, And I hope that this paper, the final, which I'm going to talk about here in a moment, doesn't add to that stress too much. I've tried to make it manageable here at the end of the semester, but yeah, thank you for everything that you've contributed to this course. It's been my pleasure to be your professor. All right, so we'll move on to some items of business now before I get too emotional, and then kind of wrap things up, I suppose. So, moving on. So with the analysis at this point, all the videos from the past couple of weeks go over examples, suggestions, and your goal right now is to finish up with it, to write your analysis that is due Wednesday this week. But the analysis, like any other assignment this semester, since we did the shift online, I am accepting up until Friday, May 1st. But that is the final cutoff point for any of our assignments. So it's due Wednesday. If you need till Friday, that is fine. But after that, I need the whole weekend to grade and turn in your course grades on Monday. So if you need help this week, of course, reach out. But a couple of reminders as far as, last minute things that you don't want to forget. Don't forget to cite your sources, right? Both in the body of your paper and with the works cited page. Now, if you are using an internet source that has no page numbers, you do not need to use a parenthetical citation if you have mentioned the author's name in the body of your sentence. So you could say something like, according to Kaylee Thomas, quotation, and that's it. If you do not refer to the author of that internet source in your sentence, then you would simply put their last name in parentheses at the end of the sentence. No number, because there's no page number. And if you look at the MLA style guide in the back of our Norton book, which begins on page 548, and it has an index of basically like any MLA question you might have, how to cite this or that. Any kind of source you would be using for this paper is covered in that section of the book. So you can look up an example. But if you're having trouble, don't save the works cited for the last minute. You can always, show me your source, send it to me, and I can advise you on how to cite that if you're struggling with it. And then also don't forget that one of your sources for your paper must be academic. So either a scholarly journal article or an academic website of some sort. And if you're not sure if this source that you found constitutes as an academic source, let me know. Again, send me the source, ask your question, and I will get back to you, of course. So the analysis at this point is in your hands. If you want me to look at a thesis statement or a paragraph or something, again, reach out, send an email, or we can talk on Skype. But now I want to take a few minutes here to talk about the final reflection, which if you took my class last semester, it's basically the same thing that you did then, but hopefully you'll be coming up with new reflections on a new semester. But for everybody, I want to go over the assignment instructions. I think they're pretty straightforward, but it might be worth talking about them a little bit just to ease your mind that this is something that is really a matter of completion, that you can't really get this wrong if you follow the directions. So it's meant to be an easy final, because for me, where I really want you to be putting your concentration and your work is in the analysis paper. But this is, I think, still an important assignment, but it can be an easy A as long as you give it, your time, make sure that it doesn't slip your attention, because it is due Friday. Of course, you can get it in sooner if you're able to. Actually, I've seen some of you submit it. Maybe it's easier to get this one out of the way as you work on your paper. Up to you. But let's take a minute here and look at the instructions for the final. For the final reflection, I'm asking you to write a 200 to 400 word paragraph or two, basically, that reflects on the semester. It should be, written with attention to spelling, grammar, and punctuation like usual. You should include the header information, your name, my name, the course, all that stuff that we normally do for essays in the class. But as far as the content goes, I'm not grading it based on, any real rubric beyond did you do it. This is meant to be a completion grade, not a right or wrong answers kind of exam. Because the goal is really just to ask you to reflect on what you've learned, how you learned, and to take stock of how the semester went for you, how the writing projects worked for you, what was useful, what might have been a struggle. So there's no right or wrong answer here. This is not the same as a course evaluation. It's not about me, it's about you. And so I've listed some questions that you could answer. You don't have to answer them all, but you could answer more than one if you wanted to. And again, I'm not looking for a particular answer. It's you and your experiences and your thoughts. All that you're being graded on is if you complete it, and it's 200 to 400 words. If it's, full of punctuation and grammar errors, I might ding you a few points. But for the most part, this is meant to be something that is stress-free at this point in the semester, and is more to just look back at what you've done, all the hard work you've put in, and hopefully some of the lessons that you got out of it. So some of the questions you might consider writing about: which assignments and readings did you find enjoyable or beneficial, and what was it about them? Which assignments were more difficult this semester and why? What kinds of lessons did you learn about treating writing as a process? How do you feel that your writing improved this semester? And what do you hope to improve in your writing in the future, in other courses that you take and other writing assignments that you have? Again, you can answer more than one of those questions, but you don't have to answer all of them. And you might also consider, either as an alternative to these questions or an expansion upon them, this question: how did the shift to remote learning during the coronavirus pandemic impact you and your education? You might think about this question in terms of our course, other courses you're taking, and or just kind of your life experiences in general right now. You don't have to answer this question, but if it's something on your mind that you know that you could easily write about, I think that this is a very relevant thing to reflect on too. It's been a huge part of your education, even though none of us asked for this. So this is an opportunity for you to maybe work through some of your thoughts about that, and it doesn't have to be about just this course. It's about how you've learned online and what that experience has been like. So that's up to you. You could answer one or more of these questions. You could answer this question. All you need to do is write out your thoughts with attention to grammar, spelling, and punctuation, and your response should be 200 to 400 words. And that's your final exam. And like I said, it's graded on completion. So if you follow the instructions, I don't want to promise you'll get an A, but you'll get an A. So the real final for me is your final paper. This is not just a formality, because I do think it's an important exercise, but I think a final exam with test questions for our course definitely wouldn't work very well. But because I am required to give you a final, this is my idea of what is most useful for us at the end of the semester. If you have any questions about it, let me know. And it is due Friday, by the end of the day, May 1st, and I can't take assignments after that point. That is when I need to have everything in that you owe me so that I have the weekend to grade and turn my grades into the school on Monday. So if you have questions, don't wait to the last minute. Do let me know. All right, so get in touch if you need help, whether it's a small question or you want to have a conversation, you're stuck on something, or you want my feedback on, a paragraph, whatever it is, you can email me or send me a message on Canvas as always. You can drop by my Skype office hours, which are every day this week, including Friday, from 2 to 3. So it's always possible, since this is kind of my drop-in hours, that I might already be talking to somebody. I try to put up a status message that says I'm away and says meeting with student if I'm already, meeting with somebody. So you can always just wait and see, how long that takes. It might not be a very long meeting, or you can email me and set up a different time. And you can do that, regardless. You're welcome to email me and ask, can you meet at 1 o'clock or whatever it is. And, we'll try to make that work if you need help. But that's where we're at now. We're close to the finish line. You just have a little bit more work to do, and you have my confidence and encouragement and my help if you need it. I'm proud of all of the work that you guys have done this semester. Again, like I said, I appreciate your resilience and your perseverance, and I'm looking forward to these final papers of yours. I've talked to some of you about your analysis, and they sound really interesting. I hope you've written about something that interests you, and I look forward to them. All right, so this is my final video for the semester, and I hope that at some point we'll all be back on campus when it's safe, and I'll at least see you around. But until then, thanks again for everything, and good luck with your finals this week.